Hey guys, welcome back to some Guild Guardians. In today's video, we're going to be going ahead and working on Leo. We're going to get her the Enlightenment and hopefully get her the Radiance level. But before we get into it, I do want to hop into the crafting. Now I've saved some things in here. As you can see, we have a ton of these logs right down here. We also do the wilderness logs. We also do have a ton of the refined silk. And I also do have one tier 6 staff already here. Now, when we first crafted a tier 6 piece, we did get a legendary one, which was very cool to see. Now, I've also noticed since I've been crafting up the tier 6 gear, we have actually replaced some of the tier 3, tier 4, just with the regular epic gear. So I'm hoping within the forge that we're gonna have the ability to get lucky with some staffs. If I go ahead and get these and we don't get a legendary staff, I'm gonna combine all 3 of them into a legendary staff, hoping that we do get something good out of here. Now, of course, that was kind of a random one right there, with the first one just being an epic. And the second one comes up as another epic. So that is 3 epics in a row. But you'll notice that the attack on these is significantly different. So even looking, I kind of want to look at them first before we go ahead and combine them, because there are very, very big variances on these. So 88, 93, and then 87. You can see kind of the variance of the different wands and also where the power comes in, because we have 39, we have 41, and we have 39. So there is a variance between the wands, and especially when you start getting into the higher level, like fusing the wands and getting to the legendary. Legendary items in general come with, of course, a couple different affinities, and within those, you can have different levels of the affinities themselves. So let's see, guys, what are we going to get out of this one? Tier 6, there we go. Now look at the stats of the tier 6. That is horrible. So we have 2 blue, out of there. We have 1 purple, domain bonus of 10. So this is probably one of the absolute, and if you remember, we are about 9,000 attack of the other staff, which means this is a significantly low tier 6 for what it is. And a lot of players have also said that when they've combined legendary gear with other legendary gear, they have seen the exact same thing, that it hasn't went and it hasn't been and worked out really as well as some of the other gear. Now, as you can see, the tier 4 gear right here, even the tier 5 gear, is stronger than the tier 6 staff that we built. Now, of course, you can look in here, crit rating, vulnerability, crit damage. This is going to be huge, especially for the hero. I wish it was his affinity or his abilities in here, but overall, looking at the orange stats, looking at the attack rating, even looking here, they are much higher. This one, again, not a huge one. I might actually switch to the tier 6 because, of course, this tier 5 is already at 10 stars, where when you start doing kind of the comparison to the other wands, even looking here, we're running about, what, less than 5,000 more attack, but you can see that is a level or a essentially an enlightened 10 staff versus no enlightenment at all. And then again, the stats on here are not very good, but putting this one on is going to also give me, or no, that's right, that's not the bonus. I'm confusing the symbols. The symbols are pretty close, but definitely confusing the symbols a little bit. So I'm going to have to see which one is going to be better and which one we're going to go ahead and do on here, because I believe the tier 6 leveled up a little bit higher, even though it's more expensive, is going to be a lot better. Now, of course, the Enlightenment. Now, this was the one that I was looking for. So this is the first time that we have actually taken a hero and tried the Enlightenment, tried the Radiance. Now, of course, you can see the Enlightenment on this hero is already at 9. The Radiance is at 3. Now, there's 2 separate ways that you can do the Radiance. Number 1 is going in here and just doing the Radiance right here to consume your souls to try to increase the Guardian's Radiance, which again, they said this is the most expensive way to do this. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to take the Cracked Hearts. If you didn't have another hero, if you didn't have a Cracked Heart in here, if you had another a core 1 or generation 1, that is essentially the hero that you would use within there. And of course, with the founder and the early ones, we are using the Cracked Hearts themselves. And then of course, over here, you can see we have 12,000 of 0. This is where you have to click. So right now, Radiance increased chance 70.6. We can use a bunch of these. Now the cap for Radiance going to 4 is 75, as you can see right there. Highest probability to increase Radiance. So as it sits right now, to go to essentially Enlightenment 10, Radiance 4, we have a 75% chance. Now, I don't think the Enlightenment will fail, but I think the Radiance will fail. Again, This is the first time that I've done it. So even looking here, adding radiant souls during the enlightenment process, adds a percent chance to increase the radiance. Now looking in here, we are using 500 of these. We were using, if we were doing it through here, 4,500, so making it exponentially more expensive. And that's because, of course, we have the hero that we're using right here. And this does apply because it is an NFT. That is the big thing to remember, is if you're running a regular hero and you're using that hero to go ahead and build up the radiance level, the radiance level is going to be a lot lower unless the hero you're using for enlightenment is already an NFT, which again is going to increase that radiance chance. So let's see, guys, fingers crossed if we can get this one done. I'm scared to look. Enlightenment, there we go. We're going to destroy the chosen guardian, which of course is going to be our heart. Boom, there we go. So let's see, radiant guardians cannot be used. Let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to take, so the guardians being enlightened. So did it work is the question. So just like we did with the recycling, and the Leah has been Leah enlightenment achieved. There we go, guys. So that takes enlightenment to 10. That takes radiance to 4, which is awesome. Now, again, thinking of right here, radiance level, we could radiant her higher. We could go from 4 to 5. It is 5,000 souls in here to do this. Now, of course, we could go ahead and add them in here. And I'm wondering even the 1% chance. So where can we take this to? So 10,000, highest probability of radiance. So remember, the last level, radiance 3 going to 4 was a 75. This one is a 60% chance. And I do need 10,000 keeper souls to take her to essentially 11.5. Now, also remember that the enlightenment goes to 15. The radiance goes to 10. So you have a incredible amount of radiance to go here. And again, to get this radiance up at 60% is going to be 10,000 to get the radiance up here. I don't know if it's 5,000. It says radiance increase chance 5.0. I don't know if that means we have a 5% chance of doing it that way, or I'm not exactly sure. This isn't really spelled out very well, which is the reason why I did want to run in here and I wanted to really build it out. Now, looking at the hero's power, a 9 radiant 3 674, and then of course a 10 4 839. When you start looking at the ability to build these heroes up on not only the enlightenment but also the radiance level, it is an absolute game changer in the damage that they can put out, which is the reason why I did want to build out Leah first. She is my primary damage dealer. She is my mage, of course, making sure that we are building up the primary hero. And of course, in a lot of different game modes, this is going to make a big difference. Even like I said, with our tier 6, the Masterful Robe, this one was much higher than the tier 3 she was actually wearing. And you can see we have a tier 5 that is built out quite a bit. We've been focusing on this. The stats on these are not very good. And of course, across all of these except the boots, these are only tier 4. But again, the stats not doing very well in a bunch of different places. So I'm going to have to see exactly what we can do, where we can build these heroes up a little bit further. And of course, levels, guys. Levels make a really big difference in this game. I have found it incredibly difficult to go through and actually build out these heroes a lot higher based on the levels. Because when you start getting to level 126, when you start getting really 100, 110 plus, the exponential amount of scrolls that you need are just kind of crazy with how expensive it does get in this game. Now, of course, for a lot of players, like we were saying earlier, if you are free to play, if you're using a hero and doing the enlightenment this way, the radiance is going to make a big difference if you're using a radiant hero or if you're not using a radiant hero. So you're going to have to remember that. Now, I do also want to do some summons. A lot of players were saying to wait to do summons, but overall, guys, we're just kind of continuous getting stones, getting some diamonds in here. So I'm going to knock out probably another 3 more summons. And the big reason for this is just to get those souls. We have been going in here and we have been trying to get souls just kind of over and over and over. And there we go, guys. There's another copy of Thorit. So we're going to take it and recycle that copy. Now, there are a few guardians that I do have that we need a lot more copies of. And of course, the sacrificing, the common and the rare, boom, we'll go ahead and just get rid of all of those, picking up some of our souls. And then I've been sacrificing my duplicate. So even looking at this row, boom, we got a duplicate right there. It looks like none of these are duplicates. Then we have that copy of Thorit, which is going to give me 500 for the Redeemers. Again, as much as I would love to build up the copy of Thorit. I'm going to go ahead and recycle that to get some more resources out of there, which of course, looking at the enlightenment for a few different heroes, we need some more of those redeemers, which I believe is right. Maybe it's him. Yeah, so there we go. So 6 of 8,000. So again, we could be looking at Karuk and putting him to essentially the Enlightenment 10, Radiance 4, of course, building this up a little bit further. I'm going to have to pick me up another one of those legendary cracked hearts out of there, because of course that is the cheapest way versus using another copy of the same hero to actually build these out. And I'm super stoked, guys. That is 10-4 right there for Leah. Very, very cool to see. So, all right, guys. So that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the gear and also getting Leah built up. And as always, thank you guys for watching.